Hello student, in today's session we will start the next part of our unit 2, that is the types of the curve. Okay, so we will discuss the what are the different types of the curve, how these curves are classified and how these curves are represented by the different ways. Okay, so there are mainly two types of the curve. The first one is the analytical curve. The first name of the curve is analytical curve, and second type of the curve is the synthetic curve. So analytical curve. What is mean by analytical curve? The curve we see here, analytical curve. The curve which is defined by the some analytical equation. The curve which is defined by some analytical equation, then such type of the curve is called as the analytical curve. What are the examples of the analytical curve? The line, the circle, ellipse, parabola, hyperbola. These are the some example of the analytical curve. If we consider the line, then what is the equation of the line? The equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus c. Means here the line is represented as the by some equation. This is called as the analytical curve. Now there is another curve called as the synthetic. So there is another curve, that is circle. What is the equation of the circle? There are two types of the circle. The first one type of the circle which having a center at the origin, and the another one type of the circle which having a center other than origin. They are represented by the different equations. So the curve which are defined by some analytical equation are called as the analytical curve, and another type of the curve is the synthetic curve. Another type of the curve is the synthetic curve. The curve which are defined by the sets of data points is known as the synthetic curve. Means suppose this is a one, here is a one point, here is another point, this is another point, this is another point, here is another point, and the curve which is passing through all these data points, the curve which is passing through all these data points, then such type of the curve is called as the synthetic curve. In synthetic curve, the curve is not defined by some equations, but the synthetic curve is defined by the sets of data points. Means we given some data points and the curve which is passing through this, then it is called as the synthetic curve. Okay, the synthetic curve needed when a curve represented by the collection of the data point. Means we have different collections of the data point, then at that situation we require the synthetic curve. What are the examples of the synthetic curve? Then there are different types of the curve called as the cubic spline curve, beta spline curve, B spline curve, nu spline, Bezier curve. These are the some example of the synthetic curve. Okay, and what are the applications of the synthetic curve? The applications of the synthetic curve are that they are used to represent the car bodies, then bodies of the ship, bodies of the aeroplane, bodies of the wings, parallel blades, propeller blades of the propeller, then shoe insole, bottles. To represent the curve, this type of the curve, the synthetic curve is used. Then what are if we compare the two types of the curve, if we compare comparison between the synthetic and analytical curve. So first point is definition. So what is the definition of the analytical curve? The definition of the analytical curve is that the curve which is represented by some analytical equation. The curve which is represented by some analytical equation is called as the analytical curve. And what is the definition of the synthetic curve? The synthetic curve is the curve which is not represented by the equation, but is if we want to define the synthetic curve, the curve which is passing through the given data points, the curve which is defined by some data points or a set of data points, then it is called as a synthetic curve. Then the next point of the difference between analytical and synthetic curve is that example. So what is the example of the analytical curve? The example of the analytical curve is that line, circle, ellipse, parabola, hyperbola. These are some example of the analytical curve. Then synthetic curve. What is a synthetic curve? The synthetic curve, what are the example of the synthetic curve? The beta spline curve, the cubic curve, or new curve, or Bezier curve. These are the some example of the synthetic curve. Then application of the analytical curve. What is the application of the analytical curve? The analytical curve are used to represent the some engineering entities or component. Means suppose we want to design one cube, and to design a cube we require lines. So to represent the some engineering entities or component, the analytical curve are used. And what are the application of the synthetic curve? Synthetic curve are used to represent the car bodies, ship hulls, aeroplane wings, propeller blade, etc. To represent such type of the parts, synthetic curve are used. Okay. Now analytical curve. Here is an example of the analytical, that is ellipse, line, circle, circular arc, ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. These are the example of the analytical curve. Now we will discuss that how we can represent the line. How we can represent the line by some line is the type of the analytical curve, means how we can represent the line by the some equations. So there are two types of the line. The first type of the line is the line connecting the two endpoints. Means suppose this is the starting point of the line and this is the ending point of the line, and line is connected by these two, means line is defined by to join these 2 points. In this way we can define one line. Or another one is this line starting from the given point and given length and the direction. Means suppose this is a line, it is a starting point of the line, and suppose the length of the line is suppose 5 centimeter, and its direction is means this line makes an angle 40 degree with the x-axis. So draw a line which having a length of 5 centimeter and makes an angle 40 degree with the horizontal. So in this two way we can define the lines. Okay, so we will start with the line connecting the two endpoints. Line connecting the two endpoints. Here is a coordinate system is given, x, y and z. X, y and z. Here is P1 is the starting point of the line and P2 is the end point of the line. P1 is the starting point of the line and P2 is the end point of the line, and here U is defined. U is, as we discuss in a representation or types of representation, that is non-parametric representation and the parametric representation. So in a parametric representation we discuss that there is a one independent parameter U, and which acts as a local coordinates, to define the curve. So here we using a non-parametric representation. As we discuss what are the in last lecture, that is what are the advantages of and what are the disadvantages of the parametric representation. So generally the parametric representation is used to represent the curve in a CAD. So here we are using a non-parametric representation of the curve. Here U is an independent parameter, and P1 is a starting point, P2 is the end point of the line. So P1 bar, if we see here, the P1 bar is the vector of the point P1 and P2 bar is the vector for point P2. Here we consider the any point on this line. the line which is joining the P1 and P2, we will consider the any point P. We will consider here any point P on the line and its vector is P bar. Its vector is P bar, and that we have considered that the U is the independent parameter. As we discussed that U is an independent parameter. As we discussed that U is an independent parameter, at the starting of the line, means at a point P1 the value of U is 0, and at the end of the line P2, that is U is equal to 1, means value of U is varying from 0 to 1, and at the starting of the line, means at a point P1 U is equal to 0, and at a point P2 U is equal to 1. Okay. So see here the parametric equation of the line in a vector form. The parametric equation of the line in a vector form. So as we taken that the P1 P upon U, see here P1 to P, and this distance upon U is equal to P1 to P2, means here the at a P1 U is equal to 0, and at a point P U having some value, we don't know the value of U, so that we have taken the ratio, that is P1 P bar upon U is equal to P1 P2 upon P1 P2 bar upon 1. Why we taken here 1? Because the value of U from P1 to P2 is 1. If we see this equation, that is P1 P bar upon U is equal to P1 P2 bar upon 1. We have taken divide here U because the distance between P1 to P is U and distance between P1 to P2 is equal to 1. That's why we have taken this, and if we represent this bar or P bar minus P1 bar upon U is equal to P2 bar minus P1 bar upon 1, and if we rearrange this, we will get this equation. We will get this equation that P bar is equal to P1 bar plus U into P2 bar minus P1 bar. P bar is equal to P1 bar plus U into P2 bar minus P1 bar, and the value of U is varying from, if we see here, the value of U is varying from 0 to 1. The value of U is varying from 0 to 1. So this is the parametric equation of the line in a vector form. What is the parametric equation of the line in a vector form? Is that P bar is equal to P1 bar plus U into P2 bar minus P1 bar. And if we see here, the value of U is varying from 0 to 1. So if we want to find out the X, the parametric equation of the line in a scalar form, if we see, this is a parametric equation of the line in a scalar form. Above equation, that is P bar is equal to P1 bar plus U into P2 bar minus P1 bar is the vector equation or a parametric equation in a vector form. Now we want to represent the parametric equation of the line in a scalar form. So what is the parametric equation of the line in a scalar form? That x is equal to x1 plus u into x2 minus x1. Similarly, if we compare here that here p is equal to x, p1 is equal to x1 and p2 is equal to x2. So we can represent it as a x is equal to x1 plus u into x2 minus x1. Similarly, we can write it as a y is equal to y1 plus u into y2 minus y1, and z is equal to z1 plus u into z2 minus z1. Okay, so these are the equations, and here the value of u is varying from 0 to 1. The value of u is varying from 0 to 1. So this is the parametric equation of the line in a scalar form. Now if we want to represent the tangent vector of the line, so equation of the tangent vector of the line p1 p2. So it is the equation of the tangent vector of the line passing through p1 and p2. So p dash bar, it is what is mean by dash? Dash represent the tangent equation. So it is equal to p2 minus p2 bar minus p1 bar into y. Similarly, if we want to represent in a scalar form, we can write as a x bar is equal to x2 minus x1, y bar is equal to y2 minus y1, and z bar is equal to z2 minus z1. Now if we want to find out the length of the line, suppose there is a line which is passing through, or which is start at the point p1 and end with the point p2, and p1 has a coordinates that is x1 y1 z1, and p2 has a coordinates x2 y2 z2. Then what is the length of the line? So we can find out the length of the line by this equation is that under root of x2 minus x1 bracket square plus y2 minus y1 bracket square plus z2 minus z1 bracket square. All these terms are a square root. So by you putting the value in that equation, we will get the length of the line. So what is the equation of the line, or what is the formula to calculate the length of the line is that under root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square. All these are the equations of the line. Or this is the equation of the line to find out its length. So all these about we discussed that the line is passing through starting point and the end point. Means line is starting point of the line is p1 and end point of the line is p2, and if the line is passing through these 2 points, then these are the equations of the line. Now we have to find out we have to define that the line is starting from, suppose line is starting from the p1 and it makes an angle, or if we know the length of the line and the direction of the line, then what is the equation of the line? So see here, p1 is the starting point of the line. Here p1 is the starting point of the line, and p max, here is a p max point, which is, and L max is the length of the line. L max is the length of the line, and n cap is the unit vector in the direction of the line. N cap is the unit vector in a direction of the line. Then parametric equation of the line is that p bar plus p1 bar plus L into n cap. And what is the n cap? N cap is the unit vector of the line. Unit vector of the in the direction of the line. N cap is the unit vector in a direction of the line. So what is the parametric equation of the line is that p bar is equal to p1 bar plus L into n cap, where L is varying from 0 to L max. Where L is varying from 0 to L max means L is the line length of the line, and it is given by p bar minus p1 bar. L is equal to p bar minus P1 bar. So in this way we can represent the line. Okay, so what we have discussed till in today's lecture is that we discuss about the types of the curve. There are two main types of the curve, that is, one is the analytical curve, another one is the synthetic curve. What is meant by analytical curve? The curve which is represented by the some analytical equation, then it is called as the analytical curve. And what is meant by synthetic curve is that the synthetic curve is the curve which is defined by the sets of data point, that we have discussed. Then we discuss some example of the analytical curve. That the example of the analytical curve is the line, circle, ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, circular arc. Okay, and after that we have discussed that how we can represent the line. How can we represent the line? So there are two ways to represent the line. The first way is that the starting and the end point of the line is given, and another way is that when the starting point of the line is given and direction and the length of the line is given. So in these two way we can represent the line. Okay, so it is enough for today's session. In next lecture we will discuss how we can represent the circle and its arc.